We love
Quick
hip hop.
couple things in our civic duties that I have over here. You know that there's been accidental prison releases. We had a conversation last week.
Whoops.
Right?
Here you go, society. We just gave you.
Like we had a conversation last week about them building new jails, or last episode, building new jails because they're over flooding of the jails over here, the overcrowding of jails here, right? But one thing that I missed in that news story is that they're talking about some of the inmates that got released by mistake. Right, so I'm gonna pull up this article or this video here, courtesy of Global News. One taker, if you could help me over here, thank you.
Ontario have one main responsibility: keeping prisoners inside their walls. But internal documents from Queen's Park reveal that isn't always happening. In fact, since 2021, 157 people have been accidentally released.
I'm going to get to the bottom of exactly why so many people, which is way too many, got improperly released. It's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable to the Premier.
The government documents don't shed light on the circumstances, including what the released inmates were charged or convicted of and what protocols weren't followed. What's clear is that Queen's Park is keeping tabs of the issue. It compiles data on improper releases and has created guidance documents for staff to follow. But the Solicitor General put the blame on civil servants.
Protocols must be followed, and I'm looking to the ministry to follow the protocols to make sure that nobody is released improperly.
Critics say the revelation that dozens of people are being mistakenly released every year flies in the face of the Ford government's tough on crime message.
The Premier is all talk and no substance.
We're going to get to
he
that.
likes to talk tough like a Texas sheriff. But the reality is he's left the jail door open and 150 criminals have got out.
And political parties are calling for more resources to ensure lower prisoner-to-guard ratios.
So many people are overworked, they're overburdened, and when you're operating in that kind of environment, more mistakes are made.
The government also says there's simply not enough space to house the entire prison population in this province. The Premier says his party is spending $4 billion just to build more cells.
Damn!
No, I'm not building Four Seasons hotels for criminals that should be in jail. And I don't care if we have to stack them 10 high, we're going to make sure they're in jail.
And ultimately, while the government said it would try to determine why inmates are being inappropriately released, the key question, Minister, do you know where the criminals have gone? Was left unanswered.
They're chilling, bro. They're chilling somewhere, smoking a freaking spliff like, ha, they let me out by mistake. Dummy.
I'm not going back for nothing.
Yeah, fam. Mistaken, accidentally released. So these are not escapees.
Exactly.
This is like, oh, this is supposed to be this person who's getting out, but I switched the paperwork and it was me that got out instead. Oops. You know what I'm saying? Murdered 3 people, but I'm on road.
I'm on road.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't mention in this article or in this news story what the crimes are of the people that got released.
It was 150 of them. I'm sure we can assume that the crimes span, the whole book.
Yeah, this might be some guys who are out who are freaking child rapists and stuff, bro. What are we talking about here, fam? It doesn't only just get to the man them who are busting off their gun. There's heinous criminals that can get out, bro.
I'm just thinking if like legally they could get recaptured, because I remember there's this one story where there's this guy who committed armed robbery and then he got like a court date and stuff, but then they just never ended up like he got sentenced. But then I guess it was like out on a bail or whatever. But when the day came for them to like arrest him, they just never pulled up. Then like 12 years went by. He changed his life, got a business, all them next things. And then they kind of realized they messed up. They went to draw for him. But the judge is like, yo, like you guys already kind of messed up. We'll just allow him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like, okay, you guys kind of messed up, we'll allow them, or now we're trying to catch these guys.
Depends on what you did, fam. Like if it's like, okay, a little armed robbery, actually, I don't know if there's a little armed robbery.
You know what I mean?
Right? I don't know, fam. I feel like everybody, if you've done something and you haven't been convicted of it yet, you gotta come scoop you back up, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like, okay, let's say like someone issues you a check and you already cashed it. And then they're like, oh, look, I need that back. It was a mistake. It's like, bro, the money's gone, dog. Like, you already did that. But I find it interesting because, like, as much as Canada is praised as this like first world country, our administration sucks. Like in general, like whether you're trying to reach the CRA or jails, hospitals, bro, like I don't know why, like what softwares we're using, or if we're not hiring competent staff, but like administration's always an issue with like public policy and like these type of governmental issues.
Yeah, I don't want to put it on the staff. I think it's just because it's so disconnected. Like the CRA is not really connected with like the federal stuff. Like even when I was going through probation, okay, it's been long enough. I could talk about this. When I was going through probation, bro, I'm flying everywhere, and I don't really have to tap in because they're not connected with like the airline agency or like you know, it's so disconnected where like they're not communicating with each other. You know what I mean? So
I could even say for when I was like applying for my pardon, there were certain things that they couldn't do electronically because they just they're not updated yet. So like you have to mail up over the thing, you have to fax them this, and I'm like, fam, why do you guys just not have like a portal that you could just set everything up through online, bro?
Yo, let me ask you guys something. Is there any possibility that these are intentional releases as opposed to accidental, where they come to the CO like, yo, like just accidentally release this guy, we'll give you this money, and then he's like, oh well, we make mistakes, so like it happens, so like I won't get fired because it happens all the time. And then if anything, like the other guy will get released. The guy who was meant to get released is still going to get released. So maybe there's some sort of foul play there.
There might be some of those guys who are part of Project South. We just don't know all of the information, right? Of like some of the, out of 150 of the inmates that got released, maybe 5 of them are part of Project South, where like the guardians were like, boom, we'll switch this paperwork for you and let this guy out. You know what I'm saying? So you never know, fam. Like it's just the fact that it's happening is crazy.
That's neat though.
Yeah, because you can kind of get away with being like, it was a mistake. I was tired. I worked like 2 doubles and like they look alike and this, that. Like
you're talking to your shot, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be home next week. She's like, nigga, you have a 15-year bid.
Shut up. She has the next nigga.
Like, no, you're not.
Are you really? And then you show up like, honey, I'm home.
Catch the next case.
We'll see.
They accidentally released me.
and I gotta go back now because you're dead.
I have to kill you and your boyfriend. Right? But listen, man, I don't know who to salute in this, man, because like it's just holes in the system. One more question I want to, what were you going to say?
I was going to say salute the CEO.
who turned the other way. But does this give them a good argument for building more prisons? Because they're saying the staff is overworked. That kind of ends up leads to mistakes of people getting out.
No, I think this kind of justifies them promoting maybe more people working in the jails, maybe more COs. So, and I don't know what the process is to become a CO. I wouldn't imagine it's that crazy, and it probably pays well.
It is. I think, don't you have to go through police school and all that same way?
Not super like that, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
You should search like requirements to be a CO Ontario, but I think they're gonna try to push for like, because you know how when they were having problems with the police, that all of a sudden the massive hiring campaign, yo, if even if you don't have any experience, like as long as you speak multiple languages, like come work for us. I feel like we're gonna have that kind of same push.
Like crazy,
like we want you, and it's gonna be like Doug Ford, like
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about being a CO? Like
conscription for the feds is
so he's gonna be kind of like like not the warden, but something towards that.
I think he's like gonna be like the face of Ontario prisons,
pushing, and because he's got to get out soon, right?
Yeah, maybe he wants to be like the face of Ontario prison reform to like make sure that Ontario's more like tight with crime.
Yeah,
because right now we're too rampant. So he's like, okay, I toughened up the prison system. You see, now we have less crime because I opened all these jails, and now we have more COs. And maybe he has like a long-term vision about that.
And I'm looking up the information here, and like you don't have to do all of that to be a prison guard. One take, if you could put this up on the screen here. Basic requirements, 18, 19, citizenship, minimum high school or diploma, right? Preferred, to have a college diploma, right? Strong communication skills, the screening process, stress and conflict, blah, 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 all this other bullshit.
All you need is a diploma, basically.
Right?
You just need to have a high school diploma, criminal record check, interview, medical exam, psychological assessment.
Yeah, and then the training is use force, self-defense, de-escalate legal powers. There's nothing saying like about the police, anything like that.
30, 40? Wow.
Yeah.
30 to 40 an hour.
Nah, that's not worth it, bro.
But even like some of these guys, they do mad overtime, bro. And like imagine overtime where you're getting 40 an hour, bro.
Yeah, but you still got to bring drugs inside the jail.
For what you have to do, I don't think it's worth it.
And yo, for an inmate to throw shit and piss at you, dog.
But I have a question, like how much, okay, obviously they have a tough job. They have a tough job, but I'm sure there's a good amount of time during their work where it's idle, where you're not doing too much, or maybe you're just chilling and you're still getting paid, you know?
People who work in jail say like they're basically inmates themselves. Where like they have to go to jail every day, be in these same environments or whatever. Like, and I know this. My mom's friend, she was like a nurse in one of the jails or whatever.
Maplehurst, probably.
Bro, one night, I don't know what happened, but one of the inmates decided to just like nut up on her, and then like basically she was in the hospital for like mad months because like he fucked up her face, bro. Like. Crazy, and like that could just happen at any random moment, you know.
And they're outnumbered. In the end of the day, I'm not like trying to like cop pleas for the COs, but like you're one CO for every like 10 inmates type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that.
What you were saying about like they feel like they're in jail, that's actually crazy. Like now that I see it like that, it's like, why would you even want to be a CO? Because it's like you have a free life. It's like, how are you choosing it? Well, I spend 9 hours a day in jail.
Outnumbered by prisoners, fam.
Getting bullied, talked ish, like all types of fights and stuff. And then I go home for a little bit and I do it all over again tomorrow. Like you pretty much, you know, like a part-time prisoner.
You're gonna, after a while, some of the inmates are your friends.
You know?
That happens, fam. I speak to rappers all the time who are like, yo, the CO pulled me aside, or I talked to this CO because they like my music and they're from the hood.
There's a couple girls in there.
Mad girls.
CO girls, bro.
You know how many girls I used to smash back in the days that were like, yeah, I want to be a CO?
Yep.
It's like, it was, but no, fam, it was a regular thing, fam. Like, I realized like a lot of girls, especially from the hood, like, fam, it's, look at the requirements. It's an easy thing, fam. And you know, you get a nice, stable job. You're getting paid freaking 65 to 85,000 a year. You know, you link up with the man them.
But I think it's all about the extras. It's all about the little bag of coke that you just put in your underwear on your way to work. And then like now you're up like a couple bands. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when it's worth it, I think.
And think about it also from the perspective of a 7 or a 6er, right?
Yeah.
She's a 10 every day she walks into work, bro. And you're getting paid 65,000 a year, fam. It's like, yo, fam, you just feel so nice. Like you walk in, you don't have an hourglass shape. You look like you got a whatever. You're looking like Grimace and shit like that. But you walk in there and you look like you got an hourglass to them.
I don't think I'm like, yo.
Yeah, fam. Like that's a super freaking self-esteem boost on a regular basis, fam.
Could you guys date a female CO?
Yes.
I have.
I could do it.
Yeah.
If I'm
I wouldn't.
If I'm in the street still, I'm definitely doing
it. And there are more times they're freaks.
Well, my whole point is that like, okay, if a female becomes a police officer, she's trying to like stop crime at the source, you know. But if she's trying to be a CO, she like has a lot of empathy for these prisoners. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to date that, bro. You're not.
You want to? Yo, trust me, you get sick blow jiggity.
You don't know. You know how everyone has like a work wife.
Yeah.
You don't know. She has like 100 work husbands, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to expose one of my homies, but he used to actually be engaged to a woman CO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was wondering why she was like hours were longer.
Oh no. Mere overtimes.
To find out, because their lives are very just around the clock, right? To find out her work husband was another CO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's not a prison.
I was thinking that was gonna be another CO. Keep going.
It would be another. It was another CO, and it was like a big nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the big COs.
Yeah. No, that's a big possibility too, because it's not like just the inmates. The other man them who are COs, they don't have like the smaller mans who are applying to be COs. It's usually guys who could be bouncers, whatever. And it's like,
guys.
You know what I'm saying? And now she's there with this 6-foot guy doing her rounds every day. Nah, fam, I might have to take that back. Nah, I'm not dating that. I would knock it down, but I wouldn't like date it. I wouldn't date it.
No.
Or date her.
Yeah.
My bad. couple more things I have over here.
We
Thanks
love
for
hip-hop.
watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip-hop.